a lot of people online. That's good. 68 people. That's very good. And Wahab, Ajita, can I start
Yes.
the workshop
Yes.
or?
Yes, yes, sure.
Yes, please.
All right. Okay. So I understand that you guys have been allotted a supervisor and you're starting your dissertation. Is that right? Or
Yes.
Yes, Professor.
okay. And you have already selected a topic? Or
Right.
Yes, Professor.
Yes.
okay. All right. By show of hand, can you let me know if you have done dissertation in the past? In your bachelor's or in your other master's program, how many of you have done a dissertation or a thesis, written a thesis? Okay, that is over 10 of you. All right. Okay, good. And thank you. You can put down your hands. How many of you can you put down your hands? Now I'll ask another question. How many of you have not done any research in the past, or dissertation is just, you have no idea what a dissertation is? In terms of how it looks like, how many chapters, or, how to do research and so on and so forth. Okay. I can see. All right. So both sides, thank you. Yeah. So I will try to cater to both sides, people who have already done dissertation, but also people who are doing dissertation for the first time. Is that a question, Neil? No. Okay. All right. So today we will cover two sections: introduction and literature review. Yeah. Simple dissertation, or the basic structure in a dissertation or a thesis, the basic chapters or the minimum chapters are the 5 chapters which are there in your module handbook. Can anyone tell me the 5 chapters? Okay. Let's make this interactive, folks. We are 77 people. 5 chapters in the dissertation. Chapter 1. What is chapter 1? Yeah, just unmute yourself and just let me know. Yeah.
Hi, Professor. So, chapter 1 is introduction, then literature review, methodology, and conclusion. No, the 5th chapter. Yeah, I can name 4 of those. So 5th, I don't remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's chapter 1 is introduction. Chapter 2 is literature
Literature
review.
review, then
Chapter 3
methodology.
is methodology. Chapter 4 is data presentation and analysis.
Okay.
And then
Conclusion.
chapter 5 is conclusion, right? So that's the basic structure of dissertation. It's also given in your module handbook. In case you have read your module handbook, right? Let me share my screen, right? Okay, can you see my screen? Can you see this?
Yes, Professor.
Right. This is the basic 5 chapters. So chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And today we will be looking at 2 of the chapters. And that's chapter 1 and chapter 2, introduction and literature review. Yes? Now, I do have my slides, but I don't want to. Let's pull up a new slide.
Professor, if you allow me to ask a question, may I?
Yes, please.
So, the chapter structure that you just said, is it the same for business students and the computer science students?
Yeah, it is. It'll be the same unless.
Okay, during these workshops, are we catering both the sides, or is it specifically for business students or specifically
Oh,
for both the sides?
good question. Good question. So, when we talk about dissertation, um, it's like, let's say, what is a car, right? A car has basic parts, you know, or yeah, let's call it the car. You know, you have engine, the body, and what? The software. If there are 3 basic parts that makes a car, then that's a car, irrespective of whether it's a car from Asia or it's a car from Germany. Yeah. So in that same way, the basic structure of any dissertation, you know, writing a thesis is the same for data science students and business students. So we call that a traditional dissertation. Yeah. So in some schools, in some business schools, the dissertation is done in a different. So it could be in terms of internship, not internship. It could be in terms of business transformation project. The term might be not dissertation, but business transformation project. So in that case, the structure of the dissertation might change. But for Gizmo, we haven't introduced a transformation project. So it'll be the same for business students and data science students. The structure of dissertation is 5, which is introduction, literature review, methodology, data, and conclusion. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Now, let's start with the basics. Let's start with the basics. When you have to do any dissertation, a good dissertation, what is the first criteria for a good dissertation?
The research question.
Research question,
Gap analysis,
gap analysis, and where does the research question comes from?
The problem
Problem
statement.
statement.
Can someone read this?
Yes. Choosing the right topic.
Yeah. Choosing the right topic, right? Or right? Now, the question many students have, or confusion many students have when you're doing dissertation for the first time, or even if you have experience in doing dissertation or writing a thesis, the question is, what topic should I choose? Or what should be the title of the topic? Sometimes the title is too long, sometimes the title is too short. So how should I, design my title, or what kind of topic should I choose? Right? Is there anyone here still not sure about the title? You're still confused. Should I change? Or, there are 3, 4 titles in your mind, or you're still not sure about the title for this station. Can you raise your hands just to get an idea? Okay. All right. Let's, good. There might be others as well. Now let's see. Yeah. In a dissertation title, what makes a good title, right? Or taking the example of the car. I said, what makes a car? A car has 2 basic components. One is the engine and the other is the body, right? The engine and the body of the car. Who knows, a dissertation title also has 2 main sections or 3 main sections, to make it a good title, right? So what are those 2 main sections? Now, let's take a sample of title, and then we'll see whether the title makes sense. Yeah. Right. So any volunteer, anyone who has chosen a clear title, can anyone tell me your title, and then we'll check whether the title is good or not. So this is okay, Shahidi, do you want to share your title?
Yes, Professor, I want to check it that it's okay and all right or not. I can change it. My dissertation title is, let me find it, sorry. Quantitative and qualitative comparison of energy transition policies in Germany and the US, focusing on factors influencing renewable energy share.
Now that's a long title. Just from hearing the title, yeah, it's too long, right? Sometimes a title, you don't need to mention everything in the title. Yeah. All right. But anyways, let's try that once more. Quantitative and qualitative comparison of what?
Of energy transition policies.
In Germany?
And the United States.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. Now, can everyone see this?
But I have another semi sentences at the end, focusing on factors influencing renewable energy share.
Okay. Focusing on?
Focusing on factors influencing renewable energy share.
All right, good. Now I can see there are some other hands. Probably you're referring to your title that you want to share. But for now, let's take the example of Saidi, and then hopefully you can translate that example to your case as well, right? Now, this is the title, right? Choosing the right topic or title. Can someone read this? Can someone read this line?
There are two main sections in the title.
Right. There are two main sections in a good title. The first section is all right. Now, when you look at any dissertation, you can divide it into two main parts. The first part is the science that you want to explore. Yeah. So what do we mean by science? What do I mean by science? So science could be anything, any topic, that you want to uh, explore. Some people are interested in marketing science, some in HR, some in supply chain, some in AI, some in whatever. Influence of AI on marketing. This is one particular science. Some might be interested in blockchain. Yeah. So that is the science that you are referring to, right? The topic that you're curious in, So let's take an example of marketing. If I'm a student who have 5 years of marketing in my past, and I'm interested in marketing, how marketing works, yeah, or I want to specialize in marketing, that is the science that I'm interested in. Yeah? So marketing from the perspective of what? It could be many, marketing, leveraging AI, AI for marketing, or word to mouth marketing, offline, online, you can pick many topics under marketing, right? So marketing is what I'm interested in or what I want to specialize in. Yeah. Same way, you guys, there are 78 students here today. So each of you will have your own field, the science that you want to explore. So number one, be very clear about what field you want to explore. Oh, okay. Field is also a good choice of word. Yeah. The field that you want to explore. Yeah. Now that's the science. Now the second question is, even if it's marketing, you know, the way you do marketing for fast fashion will be different. Or let me ask the question to the public. The way you do marketing for H&M or in fast fashion, garment industry, will it be the same as the way you do marketing for medicine, pharmaceutical product, or in real estate, or in military equipment, or marketing online, offline? Will it be the same? Will
No,
the same principles hold? Sorry?
no, it will be different.
No, for sure.
Exactly. It's not the same. So once you have decided the field that you want to explore, the second part is okay, I think the field should come here. Are you looking at which field or which case study or which sector, yeah, sector or industry, yeah, or case study, yeah? So the second part is, once you've chosen the field that you're interested in, the second part is the field or the sector or the industry that you're interested in. Yeah, you might be interested in marketing, but you might be interested in fast fashion marketing, or marketing in automobile industry, marketing for, military equipment or medicine, this and that, online, offline. So the second important part in a dissertation title is choosing the field, the area of the industry or the sector where you're planning to collect your data, yeah, your case study. Is this clear? Please read this and then ask me any questions you have regarding this.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
Professor, how about the place? Because HR study in Denmark and HR study in Vietnam will differ. Should the place or maybe country be the criteria for the title? Third criteria.
No, yeah, good question. So, once you have chosen marketing, whether you are choosing the sector, the industry, the company, the country, the region, that is the second important part. So the second important part is related to your data collection. Where are you planning to collect the data, whether it's primary or secondary, right? So the first part is the science, and the second part is the specific area, the field, the sector, the industry, the case study you are interested in. Yeah. So did that answer your question, Mohammed?
Okay.
All right. Any other question? So you can ask questions related to your. Okay. While you are thinking of, oh yeah, Farouk. Is that a question, Farouk?
Can you hear me? Yes, yes. Can you hear me, Professor?
Yes.
So, for example, my draft title or like the one I did for the proposal was like, you almost said it, like leveraging AI-driven strategies to enhance brand loyalty in digital marketing. So I need to specify which country I'm talking about, or if it's in Germany, in Egypt, something like that, or can I have like an overall, like overall picture of the idea of the brands that I would like take in the thesis or something like that? Or do I need to be more specific?
Good question. Good question. Now, this is this rule of thumb doesn't apply to all titles, right? So when you're picking a traditional topic, this helps you in breaking down your title. But sometimes, if you're exploring, let's say Farouk's example, state of the art, topic like how is AI integrated in marketing, leveraging AI in marketing. These are something emerging and new. So you just want to know the state of art technique or framework or tools or. So in such case, you don't need a sector, because it's still new. So it's applied. The sector is not important. So you can just explore the science. But you can also, if you want, to specify the sector, you can as well. If you want to make it general, that's fine. Yeah. But if you want to make it specific, it'll be something like leveraging AI in marketing, case study of what? A case study of digital platform, or online marketing. So that way, you are picking specific industry or sector or segment. Yeah? But you can explore the state of the art, what's happening in that science, in that topic. So in that case, Farouk, sometimes the second section might not be relevant for some topic. Okay,
Thank you,
any other
Professor.
question? Lash?
Hello, Professor. I have a question on the chat. I mean, if you can please take that because actually I'm outside right now.
Okay, sure. This is from Lash. AI powered business intelligence in digital advertising, a mixed method analysis with predictive insight, sentiment analysis. Okay, all right. So this could be something like AI powered business intelligence in digital advertising, a mixed method analysis with predictive insight. Yeah, sounds good. Lash, sounds good. Though there can be, as you explore deeper, explore the literature review, you might find you can refine further. Yeah. Or now we are looking at this title. It might give you some insights. Lash, let's brainstorm on this title and we'll come to Lash as well. Now, when you are, so in this topic, what is the science here? What is the science that, whose topic is this?
Mine, Professor Sayada.
Saida. So this is Saida's topic. So in this case, the science that we refer to here, the science, what science or what field is Saida planning to gain expertise in or exploring? Which field is that?
Energy transition, right? Energy
Yeah.
transition.
Energy transition policies. Yeah. So how do policies affect market behavior? Yeah. So that's good. And then in terms of the field and the sector and the case study or data collection, what is she looking at?
Factors that influence renewable energy share.
Yeah. So she's looking at, in terms of energy policy, she's interested in specific segment within energy transition, right? And you can also club, you're interested in case of US and Germany. Now to refine this topic, quantitative, qualitative, these are methodology issue. You don't have to highlight your methodology in your title. Yeah. Are you collecting quantitative data, qualitative data? This you'll explain in your methodology. Now you can further refine comparative analysis of energy transition Shaida, can you read the title again?
Comparison, analysis of energy transition policies. Okay. Comparative analysis of energy transition policies in renewable energy sector, case study of Germany and US. Yeah, that's great. Thank you, Professor.
All right. So in a way, you are looking at renewable energy. Mainly, you are trying to see how to design policies. So if I were to break down the science, I would say policy design. Policy design is the main science. How do you design policy so that you can send signal to the market or incentivize market to behave in a particular way, right? So that is your energy, the main field that you're exploring. And then renewable energy or the renewable energy or case study of Germany and US. Sorry, someone is coming by. So that's the field that you're exploring. Yeah. Okay. Now let's come back to just give me a moment. Okay. So any questions so far? Professor Sarah, would you like to say hi?
Hi.
We have 78 students.
Oh, good. How's everything? Good?
Yes, hello.
Hello.
Yeah, Professor Sarah also will be conducting some of the workshops.
Yes, of course, definitely. My pleasure. Good, good. Okay, so I'm just leaving you alone. Thank you. See you. Just mention to them we will have FPS and PLS workshop very soon.
SPSS and PLS workshop, quantitative data analysis. Yeah. Now, let me come back and we'll try to summarize. Can someone read this highlighted? Section.
Introduction, provide a clear background of the research, highlight the specific research problem and rationally justify why the research is important, provide a clear and precise research objectives and questions.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Farouk. Now, before you start the introduction chapter, you need to have a clear title, right? A proper title. The title of your topic. So once you are clear with the topic, so there are many, things that you need to consider, in a topic. Don't make it too repetitive. Don't make it. So basically, remember what I say. Be very clear with the science that you're exploring. Yeah. And then if you're subdividing the specific field or the sector or the industry or the case study where you want to explore the data, then you can have the second part as well. So if those two are clear, then the title is from a reader perspective. I know, okay, this person wants to explore this science or this field, and so there's no overlapping or confusion, right? So once the topic is clear, now the task is to write your first chapter, second, third, fourth, and fifth, right? So now let's briefly explore what the first chapter is about. Chapter 1, Introduction. And then once this is done, we'll go for a short break. Okay, that is my So how many pages are your dissertation?
50.
For
Word
the
count.
bachelor's,
How many word count?
12,000.
12,000.
If there are
is this the
two
bachelor or
partners,
master's?
it's
For bachelor's, there is between 10,000.
Okay.
for
So,
masters individual, it's 16,000.
okay.
Plays a role if
Let's-
it's an individual or a group project. Because I think for individual, it's 10,000, approximately 35 pages or something.
Okay. So let's
Sir, for individual, it is 12,000, 3,000 plus or minus, and for group, it is 15,000.
Okay, good. So let's just assume, irrespective of bachelor's or master's, if your expectation is the word count is 12,000, right? 12,000, and then you have 5 chapters. So how many words should go for chapter number 1? How many words should be out of the 12,000? How much should be chapter 1?
300 to 500.
Okay. Any other thoughts?
Like 2,000.
Okay. All right.
I would say less than 1,000 words.
Okay. Now let me ask the question in a different way. What are the grades for each chapter? Do you know? Let's say if your dissertation is 100 marks, how many marks is allocated to each chapter? How many marks do you think is allocated to each chapter?
20% each, maybe.
Okay. So,
Just
Sir, I
assuming.
think literature review and methodology will hold more grades compared to other part. And then like result and analysis.
okay. For your information, when we grade your dissertation, each chapter carries equal mark 20, 20, 20, 20, 20. Now, the question to you is, if each chapter carries equal mark, when you divide the word count, 12,000, is it wise to divide those 12,000 equally in all the chapters, or how would you do it? Some for more for some chapters, how would you do it?
Equally divided
Sir,
also. If
introduction
it's
and conclusion will have the least amount of word. For example, conclusion will have the least amount of word and introduction will have second. And then the other parts will have maybe the equal amount of wording.
Okay. All right. So please make sure you have 12,000 words and each chapter carries equal marks, right? So when you divide the word count, don't make it, of course, it's true that literature review and data presentation, chapter literature review is normally bigger, methodology is normally bigger than conclusion, right? Or introduction. But don't make it, so ideally, if you divide it equally, it's around 2,500, 2,400 per chapter, 2,400. But out of 2,400, if you write only 400 for introduction, if you write only 400 or 500 for introduction, that's too short. And for me, as a person who is marking your paper, do you think I'd like to give 20 out of 20 for just 400 words? Tell
for
me.
sure not. But I have a question, Professor. Like, let's say the thesis is 10,000 yet if I'm doing on my own. So should I approximately, if it's like 2K per chapter, should I do
Yeah,
for the introduction like literally 2,000 or maybe like 1,500 for example, or
yeah,
1,000?
yeah. For example, adjust a little bit. If it's 10,000, it comes 2,000 per page, per chapter. So introduction, it doesn't have to be 2,000. It could be 1,500. And then your literature could be 2,500 or 3,000, right? So, but don't make the introduction too short and the conclusion too short. Sometimes students make a mistake. They don't know how, too many things to write in conclusion. They make it very short, 500, 600. And I'm wondering, I have to give 20 marks for conclusion, but which is why I have structured what are the requirements in a conclusion. Yeah? If all these are not properly covered, then it's hard for me to give you grades. Yeah. So if your dissertation is 10,000, introduction might be a little bit shorter, not equal like 2,000. It could be 1,500 to 2,000 around there, right? Literature review could be bigger, but don't make it too much that some chapters are too small, then people marking your chapter will be struggling to give you points. Because let's take an example with the introduction chapter. Introduction chapter, there are 3 expectations in an introduction chapter, right? Now let's go here. The 3 expectations are, all right.
Background.
Let's still choose,
Excuse me, Professor.
yes.
Do the references count in the word count or no?
No, it doesn't.
Okay. Okay.
It's given in your module handbook. Reference doesn't count. Let's say your topic is this, right? Now, when you write introduction chapter, when I grade or any supervisor grade, they'll be grading whether these 3 points are covered in your introduction chapter.
It should cover the concept of energy transition policies and the importance of renewable energy in energy transition, and also a brief look at Germany and the US existing situation, maybe.
Okay. So let's first start with this. Provide a clear background of the research. So your research is energy transition in renewable energy sector, comparing or you can just say,
Hello, sir. Hello, Professor.
yes.
I have a question. Like, suppose if we are giving one title and we are doing one research, and while researching, we get more knowledge on that particular subject. So, based on that knowledge, can we change the title, like which we have maybe done like before?
Yes, you can change. And that's why you're given a supervisor who can supervise you, right? You can talk to your supervisor, exchange the idea, but of course you can change the title.
Okay. And just one more question about literature review that I had. I don't know, like you will answer it on like ongoing session or not. Like while doing literature review, should we like, for example, if I'm doing a thesis on vector database, so should I cover the entire literature on that, or like what should be my strategy for that?
Exactly, good question. Yeah, I'll cover in the next chapter after break, right? Yeah, Jitin will cover, the purpose of literature review. Yeah. Let's first cover the introduction chapter. Yeah. In introduction chapter, there are 3 main parts you have to cover in the introduction chapter. Or let's call it 3 main sections, right? Now, the first section is you have to provide a clear background of your research. We'll go for 5 minutes break. And I want each of you to think about the title that we have chosen. And then think about, these 3 segments, how will you break down? What would be the background of my research, and then, okay, I will underline this for you for better. It's better just to, sorry. Yeah. So in introduction chapter, you need to clearly elaborate on 3 main themes or 3 main sections. Background of your research, or research problem and rationale, justifying your research, and clear objective and questions. Yeah. So I'll give you 5 minutes or let's go for a longer break. Let's go for 10 minutes break. Yeah. 5 minutes for your coffee break. And then 5 minutes to think about your topic. Think about your topic and then think about how you would, what kind of background would you provide? What is the research problem and rationale for your topic? And then what is the objective and question you would ask under the topic that you have decided? And then we'll brainstorm. Yeah. So if you're struggling to, oh, I don't know how to break down my background, or the rational, what do we mean by rational? Or I have too many objectives, how many objectives? Or even the objectives can be confusing, or too many objectives, or repeating objectives, or unclear objectives, confusing objectives. We'll discuss this after the break. Yeah. So, or let's take a 15 minutes break. It's almost 3 p.m. now. We'll come back at 3:15. Yeah. And when we come back, I'll leave the slide open here. I want you to think about, for your topic, how you break down these 3 themes. And if you have any question, or if you're confused, we'll take some example, 2-3 example of some thesis. I'll ask for volunteer, and then we'll discuss two, let's say we'll discuss two. And then after that, if you have any specific question regarding your topic, we'll discuss it. We'll brainstorm. All right.
Professor,
Okay.
if I leave for the 15 minutes and come back, may I be able to join again
Yeah,
from
you
the
should be
Teams?
able to. Same link.
Perfect. Perfect. See you in a bit.
Mhm.
Muro.
All right, are we good?
Yes, Professor.
All right, let's first complete the introduction. What is expected in an introduction, right? So title, be very clear about the science that you want to explore. And then, yeah, if you have specific target sector or industry or case study, be very clear about that in the title as well. But some title might require just, exploring the science. You don't need specific sector or industry or country. All right, let's look at the introduction. There are three segments as we discussed. Now, think of a dissertation as a movie, or you're pitching, you're selling your product to an audience, and your audience are your readers. This could be your professors, this could be your peers who are reading your work, right? So introduction is about a trailer to your movie, or you're telling the, or not trailer, but you're introducing your topic to the audience, right? So first, the first section is you're providing a background of your research. Remember, background and the research problem and rationale is different, right? Now, when I say background, the difference between background and research problem and rationale is, let's say I go to a doctor. Yeah, I go to a doctor because I have back pain. That's my problem. But the background to my problem is, I've been playing a lot or not sleeping well, right? So that's the background in that example. Now let's take an example of this title. Yeah? Analysis of energy transition policies in renewable energy sector. Comparative case study of Germany and US. What could be the background of this research? Anyone or Seide? Is that Feide or Seide?
Yes, Professor.
How would your background look like, and how would your research title look like? Rational and problem look like?
First of all, I try to explain motivation and selection of the problem, why I want to explore this topic at the first. And after that, I will go for research gap that there's between there's in this industry. And finally, I will point a research question.
Okay, can you repeat once more the difference between research background and the problem statement?
Research background is about why I have chosen this topic for my thesis. And the research problem is the exact point or problem statement that I want to address during my thesis.
Good. So what will be the background story for your research background? How would you explain the topic, research background, in one sentence?
Research background here is that the concern of energy transition policies, why we want to explore energy transition policy, why is it's important.
Good. So that's the background, right? So the background is, countries are trying to shift from cleaner energy due to climate change, blah, blah, blah. Lots of countries are doing that. That's the background. Now, what is the research problem?
Research problem
or
here
rational,
is
or rational, yeah.
Research problem could be something like that. Different policies that different countries can use to transit from primary energy to secondary or to renewable energy here.
Yeah. So what's the problem or the rationale? What is the problem?
The problem here is the differences between different countries. Why different countries approaches different policies.
Okay, that could be one problem. Or a specific problem could be many countries are doing it, but not all countries are successful in promoting. Many countries have policy, but some policies are better than other policy. Yeah. So not all countries are successful. So you're trying to see what is that makes it successful, by comparing US and Germany. Is the same case with any topic, if you put marketing, digital marketing, or supply chain management, or AI marketing, you're saying that all companies are trying to do it, but not all companies are succeeding. Risk management, data management, there is always some problem, in the industry. So you're trying to look at the data and trying to find a solution for that problem, or a solution on how, by studying some case study of companies, you're trying to suggest a solution, a more efficient way of doing things. All right.
Yes.
Stanley.
Yeah, Professor, I have a suggestion. I was thinking maybe she could look to in the lenses of stakeholder response to the policies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That could be in the research rationale, right? The rationale is you're breaking down the rationale. Why are you doing the research, right? Comparing US and Germany. So in the market for renewable energy, since it's not cost competitive, government have to intervene in the market, and then they have to design policies or send policy signals, be it subsidies or be it regulation or whatever it be, right? So response of the market is different in different country, So the rationale is, okay, let's study how in Germany and US has been done. And also, in your methodology, you have to justify why did you choose Germany and US. Oh, you can give it the background in the background information. Why have you chosen Germany and US? Is it because they are the best countries, or is it because they have the highest renewable energy, or is it because they have a problem? One has a problem, one is successful. Yeah, some of the stories behind. Yeah. Okay. Any other thoughts, or does anyone want to share your question, or share your topic, and if you have any issue, how you would break down this first two part? We'll talk about the objective and research question later, but any doubts on this, or anyone wants to share on how to break down?
Professor, I
Yeah,
would like
Omar.
to
Yeah,
share my topic.
yeah. Tell me, share.
Okay.
I just have a question regarding how would the word count go? Like we said, like it's supposed to be around 1,500 to 2,000, but like these won't be sufficient enough to write all of that.
Exactly. So it's an art, you have to find out, how to adjust the word count within that, right?
So like I guess the
it
background.
depends, it depends on the topic. Some topic might need a long introduction, some topic might need a lesser introduction. Yeah. So if it's yeah, it depends on you, on how much you want to explain. Yeah. But
Yeah.
the rule of thumb is approximately, if it's, try to make it equal for all the chapters, because you're getting equal marks, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes you might need to explain a little bit longer in your literature review. Do so. More word count for literature, that's fine. Sometimes if you have lots of data to discuss, okay, for chapter 4, a little bit more on data, adjustment a little bit here and there can always be done.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Thank you, Doc.
Right. Any questions to the first two themes?
Professor, can I share my topic?
Yes.
The title? Yeah. So my title is Optimizing Response Time and Mitigating False Alarms in the London Fire Brigade Using Data Mining Approach.
Optimizing?
Response time.
Continue.
And mitigating false alarms in the London Fire Brigade using a data mining approach. So it's a data science topic.
Right. So let's look at this topic, right? Optimizing response time and mitigating false alarm in the London Fire Brigade using a data mining approach. All right. Now, in the background, research background, what background would you give?
So in the research background, it would be that how the false alarms lead to it is not manageable like in a proper way. The fire brigade system is not really good. I think I don't have the right words to explain it, but to optimize the resources, basically, as the title suggests, quite literally, that where there is a problem, we have to react in a proper way at that particular place, rather than if there was a false alarm because of cooking, for example, in a house, and you deploy a fire brigade there. It's just waste of resources.
Yeah. So basically, you'll be talking about in the introduction Can you read this, Mohammed?
Importance of response time and right false alarm.
Or right alarm system, you know.
Right alarm
So
system. Okay.
in your background, you're just saying, you're giving information about, you know, for a fire brigade system, you know, you can tell a story, a little bit background about how a fire brigade system works and, you know, how critical is the response time, you know, and then not wasting time, resource, and all those stuff. It's very important, you know, so you are giving the background, it's important, right?
Yep.
And then what would be the research problem or the rationale? How would you break down the rationale or research problem?
So you mean the research questions basically?
No, 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 no. The second part, the research problem, this part, highlight specific research problem, rationale, justifying your research.
So the research problem would be, I think it is quite clear with the title that the problem is the waste of resources. We have to manage those. And the problem is that the resources are being wasted.
So in your case, since you mentioned London Fire Brigade, you have to highlight what problem has been there in the past. You know, was there a problem in terms of response time or a couple of false alarm and inefficiency, da da da?
Yeah, okay.
right?
Okay, now like
You-
the example I gave, I guess, like
Yeah.
if there, oh, okay.
So that is the rationale or the problem statement justifying your research. No, you are saying that in London Fire Brigade, this has been a lot of inefficiency issues here and there. So due to that comes your research objective, right?
Okay.
So since you are trying to address that problem, now let's look at your objective, research objectives.
Okay.
What might be your research objective? Can you tell me?
Yes, of
Number
course.
one.
So the object I have actually written these down. So I wrote 4 objectives, which lead to obviously the 4 research questions.
Okay, can you
But-
copy paste in the chat?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
While you're doing that, let me tell you the research objective, the section for research objective. Yeah. Provide a clear and precise research objectives. Now, if I say, I'd like to eat a good, what's my favorite dish? I'm thinking of my favorite dish. It could be chicken tandoori, or it could be pasta. It could be pizza, for example, right? So analysis of best pizza, right? Or one of my objectives could be, you know, what I'm trying to say is, if my if I want to find out which pizza is the best, or if I want to cook a pizza, eat pizza for dinner. Let's just take that example. I want to eat pizza for dinner. Then my objectives sequence of. Are you done? Or-
I'm almost done, but if you need some time, I can work something, otherwise, so we can go together.
No, I'm here for another hour.
Okay,
Dissertation workshop. Yeah.
okay, then I will leave.
Are you done with?
Yeah, more or less. I mean, just to have an idea about the room and where I'm, you know, apparently I have to buy this device myself
Okay.
here
Mm.
for the adapter.
Mhm.
That's what they told me. And the rest I'm meeting with Tilman Lindbergh tomorrow.
Just hold on, guys, for a sec. Yeah, 2 minutes. Hello there. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry for that. Apologies. All right. Where were we?
We were talking about objectives and
Objective.
questions.
Yes, yes, yes. So, yeah, think about the objectives you have, but let me give you a general rule of thumb for objectives. Don't have too many objectives, yeah, or too many research questions, because yeah, Shaide, you want to say something or you have a question?
Yes, I have a question. How many questions we should address and answer?
Yeah. So remember, in introduction, you're asking, let's say, if you have 4 objective and let's say 5 objective and 5 questions, then in your literature review, you're also reviewing literature to answer the research question. In methodology, you're explaining data collection, how to collect data for the 5 research question you have. Yeah, if you have 5 questions, and how to analyze the data. In chapter 4, you are presenting data presentation and data analysis for all the 5 questions, right? And in conclusion, the last chapter, you're also concluding on all the 5 questions. So if you have 6, 7 questions, your task becomes bigger, right? So don't complicate yourself with too many research questions. So for a master's thesis, 3 or 4 research questions is more than sufficient. 3 or 4. Yeah. If you want 5, that's fine, you know. But 3 or 4 is more than sufficient. Yeah. That's one.
For bachelor's.
For bachelor's also 3 or 4 or 2 or 3. Yeah.
Professor, can we have one question, one real question for?
No, because I will break down why just one research question is not sufficient. Yeah. Okay. Let's think about the generative AI, you know, AI enabled marketing, right? So if you're trying to find out which, okay, a simple example, what is the best pizza in town? Huh? What is the best pizza in town? To answer that question, you just can't answer, taste the best pizza, right? To answer a question, you have to break down, you know. If you're trying to find out what is the best pizza, you have to break down what makes a pizza taste good. You know, what is the criteria for judging? You know, how to sample the pizza, and you know, at least there are some. Okay, that's a bad example. Let's take the example of energy transition in Germany and energy transition policies for renewable energy in Germany and US, right? So,
Professor, can I share my question?
share. Yeah, that way it'll be much clear. Yeah.
I categorized it into primary and secondary. The primary.
Wait. Sorry. Wait. Who was the one who asked the question? Can it be one question? Was it you, Saide, or?
No,
was
it
the-
wasn't me. It wasn't
Okay.
me.
Do you have the person who asked, can it be just one question? Are you struggling with breaking down the question?
I asked this professor.
Yeah.
No,
So-
I can create questions. Just I want to know the main questions I can create as a one research question. Then I can create another question as a for explaining my objectives.
Okay. So if you're looking at what is the best marketing strategy, right? So in let's say a marketing best marketing strategy for what is the best framework for digital marketing strategy, or what is the best approach for digital marketing, or what is the most efficient way for efficient digital marketing framework out there or tools out there? If that is the main question you have, this question could be the same. You know, what is the most efficient supply chain, most efficient human resource management, efficient operation or project management? You know, you're asking a simple question, but to answer that question, you have to ask first, what makes a process efficient? If it's marketing, you know, what are the criteria that defines efficient marketing? And then second question is, how do you test that framework within those criteria you have identified? Yeah. And then sometimes you might want to make recommendation for your the research for the company, or for best policy, you know, energy transition policy. So a research topic normally will have sequence. You know, sometimes students jumble the question. So if you want to have a pizza, it's like, first go and buy the pizza material, cook it, eat it, right? So there is a sequence: buy the material, cook, eat, right? Sometimes students, since their objectives or questions are a little bit complicated, they jumble the sequence, you know, so they will say, you know, cook it, buy it, eat it, you know. So the rationale to sequencing objectives, there is also rational or need for sequencing objectives. So remember that. So don't complicate your research by having too many objectives. Objective has to be very crisp and clear, as specific as possible, and not too many. Number two, follow a logical sequence in your objective, you know, logical sequence. One helps the other, you know. So at the end, when you think about recommendation, you have all the information. Yeah. Okay. So Jitin, I have a question.
Thank you, Professor, for explaining.
Yes, Professor, I have a question. But my question is like based on the title selection, like I'm finding it really difficult to get a title for my thesis. I mean, I have given a title to my professor, but she said like she wants a generalized title. So my thesis is based on rack system, like comparing different systems based on the rack architecture, like I mean retrieval architecture and chunking knowledge. So based on that, like I have to build a generalized system that compares different chunking strategies and all. But I'm finding it little difficult to come up with a proper title. But what my professor has suggested was to get a generalized title. So what should be my strategy? Like, should I go through the subjects in a much better way and then come up with a title, or what should, like, can you suggest some good strategies?
I would always suggest, in terms of title, be as specific as possible. You know, that way your research, you don't lose track of your research if you're as specific as possible. Yeah. But discuss that with your supervisor. Yeah. You can email me the title, and then I can also have a look at it.
Okay. Actually, as of now, like I don't have any title. So one more thing that I came up in my mind is like, should I go with my research? Because what the professor suggested is to have a generalized title. So I should go with my research and then like maybe like do some literature review and all that. And after that, like maybe come up with a proper title. Will this work
Yeah,
fine? Or should?
that's. I just advised one student. She was struggling with. So should I, exactly your question, should I be too general or should I dive deeper and be very specific, But when you know the literature, when you know what's happening, then you can know whether to be specific or not. So in her example, it was, she was talking about, should I application of this tool for addressing this problem? Application of a specific tool for addressing a problem. So I was asking her the question, do you know for sure that this tool is the best out there to address the problem? She was not sure. So I told her, do a literature review. And then from the literature review, you find out whether this tool is the best. If it's the best, then use it, as a title. If not, after your literature review, you find out, then you can make it a general. Okay, good. Saide, can you, you wanted to say something about the objectives?
Thank you, Professor.
No, I shared my questions, objective
right.
questions. I divided it to primary and secondary questions.
Okay. Primary, people online, you can see what Saide has typed as well. Primary question and secondary. Good. Okay. And we'll come to Mohammed as well. So primary, qualitative of the how to germinate in relative effective. How to compare. Okay, what are the key difference in energy policy? What lessons? Okay, yeah, sounds good. But you don't have to put in all this qualitative, primary, secondary. Yeah.
Okay,
But
okay.
it's good to have that in the background. All right.
Mhm.
And let's look at Mohammed. Identify factors that lead to delay in response time. Okay. Optimize the response time using data, develop predictive model, create a model that predicts that leads to delay, optimize. Yeah, sequencing sounds good. Yeah, but the interesting part is when you read your literature, you would also need to come back to refining your title, number one. Number two, your objectives or the research question you ask, you might need to come back and refine it after you have a clear idea about the literature, right? So keep that in mind. Yeah? It's always interconnected.
Okay, Professor, thank you.
Okay. Now, let's cover literature review. Do we have any questions regarding the introduction chapter?
Yes, Professor, I have a question.
Yes,
Sorry.
ask me.
Should we address the gap between our research and existing research in introduction?
Yes. If there is, you can highlight the gap here. Yeah. So the rationale for your or research problem or the justifying your research is also basically you're highlighting, the gap in the in the gap in the field. So I'll give you example. There are topics. Sometimes when you choose case study of this company or case study of Nigeria or in India, so you tell the audience in terms of dispute in river, dispute settlement in river or project development or evaluating market failure. It has been studied in Europe context or but literature is missing in Asian context or African context. There is a gap in literature in terms of how market operates in a different social political environment. So that is a research gap by itself. So your rationale for doing your research is I'm trying to contribute by filling the gap for a different region, adding data from a different region, or research has never been done or in let's say risk management, data privacy. There has been a lot of research on finance banking sector, but there has been few literature in educational sector, data privacy, issue of data privacy and risk, data risk. So I'm taking the case of this sector. So that could be a gap, a rationale for your rationale for choosing the topic. Does that answer the question?
Yes, Professor, thank you.
Yeah, and of course you dive deep in your literature review, in terms of what past literature has been done, past work has been done, and the gap within gap literature on the topic that you've chosen.
Professor, I had asked the question on the literature review before break, and which you said like you will answer. I mean, can you explain on that?
Now, let's come back to literature review. Yeah, I will brief you since due to time constraint. Let's see whether we can cover in 10 minutes, right? Literature review.
And Professor, are we going to have another session later on?
Are you guys okay if I take 15 minutes to explain literature review?
Yes.
Yes, of course. Yes.
Okay. Good. Literature review is more simpler to explain, right? So I always give this example to my student. If my topic research title is analysis of evaluate whether people in Germany are happy, or evaluate whether people in Berlin are happy. Let's take the case of Berlin. Yeah. So my topic is evaluation of Okay, let me just write that down. All right. Can you see this title?
You haven't shared the screen, Professor.
Can you see this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or let's put it simple. Yeah. So this is your title or one of the questions you have. Can someone read this?
Evaluate whether Berliners are.
Yeah. Now the question is, literature review. When you do literature review for this topic, can someone read this as well?
What would you review? What is the purpose of review?
Exactly. So if your thesis title is evaluating whether Berliners are happy, whether people in Berlin are happy, the question is, when you do literature review, what would you review and what is the purpose of the review, right? So can anyone answer this question? What would you review?
Review some
Happiness.
Recent research?
Research about what?
about characteristics of being happy. What is the criteria of being happy? And the definition of happiness?
Yeah. Okay, good. What about? All right. So what would you review, right? And what is the purpose of the review? Now, what is the purpose of review?
To give a good definition of the title. Each element of the title should be defined by research precisely and concisely to give us a good understanding of the title.
Okay. All right. How would you find an answer to this question? What would be the methodology for data collection? Whether Berliners are happy?
Surveys.
Qualitative?
Interviews, primary research.
Right? But the question is, when you do survey, when you do interviews, so you want to find out whether Berliners are happy, right? But when you do the survey, you'll have 10 questions or 15 questions, right? But the critical question is, what kind of questions would you ask, right?
Hello, Professor. Please, don't you think the question is too broad?
Yeah, it could be too broad, or it could be, we're taking this just for simplicity's sake. Simplicity's sake, to understand literature review. Yeah, for now. This is not a real topic or good topic or whatever that is, right?
Because I was thinking probably maybe they are happy towards an objective.
True, that could be true. That could be true. Yeah. So the question is, when you interview people, when you survey people, when you ask Berliners, question is, what kind of questions would you ask? For example, let's say you have 10 questions, right? 10 questions. So what will you inform? What are the questions? From where will you get information what to ask?
Professor, shouldn't this question come from other literature?
Exactly. That is the purpose of literature review, right? The purpose of literature review is let's go back to what is this? Can someone read the highlighted?
Summarize the theoretical framework for answering your questions.
Exactly. The main purpose of literature review is read up past literature that will help you answer your research question. Huh? So let's take this example. What would you review? Past and recent work about characteristic on happiness. So you're trying to ask questions to Berliner, but you don't know what questions to ask, because you need to know what happiness is and what are the characteristics that defines happiness, right? So you review past work. Who knows? There might be literature in Europe, in Canada, in Asia, in Africa, in Latin America, different concepts of happiness and different case studies of happiness. Yeah. Now, let's just copy paste this. At the end of the literature review, you need to summarize your theoretical framework for answering your research question. If your research question is happiness, then you need to find out, what defines happiness? What are the characteristics, Sometimes people call it this conceptual framework for your research. People call it as dependent and independent variable. Okay. Let me ask a general question to the class. From your common sense, from your everyday life. Let's forget about the literature review for happiness. What do you think defines happiness? I will give example. You also give example. So number one could be, food to eat, food and shelter to eat. Now, what could be the others? Factor that defines happiness.
Physical, mental health.
Mental health, physical health. What else?
Emotional health.
Emotional health. It could be family, friends. For somebody, it'll be proper job, proper salary, proper income, proper money, relationship. So there could be many factors that affects happiness, right? So the purpose of your literature review is to find out what are the independent variable that affects happiness. So in this case, happiness will be the dependent variable, and then through your literature review, you're reviewing studies done in Canada, Malaysia, India, Pakistan, China, Nigeria, everywhere, you're reviewing all this literature to find out, to create a concept for yourself, to design questionnaire to ask Berliners. Yeah? To find out how happiness is related with different factors. So your dependent variable is happiness. Independent variable could be all those jobs, friendship, health, whatever. Yeah. So you review literature to find out, to create a concept for yourself, so that that concept will help you answer your research question. So that is the main purpose of your literature review. Sometimes students get lost. They do literature review, but at the end, they don't know what they're trying to find out of the literature review. Yeah? So the literature review, remember, there's only one purpose of literature review. The only purpose is read what is done in the past so that you collect information that can help you create the conceptual framework to answer your research question. Can you see this slide?
Yes.
So input, you read, process it, and output. Same way, literature review. Input is all the literature that you have. You analyze it, you read it, and there should be an output. The output is about, have you created a conceptual framework to answer your research question? Yeah. I'll give you an example. Sometimes students talk about, trying to find the best marketing, most efficient marketing tool, or most efficient project management tool, right? Most efficient project management tool, most market efficient project management marketing tool, or it could be most efficient data processing tool, or most efficient risk management, data risk management. And they will write articles, they will review literature on this, different tools and da 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 da. But they will never talk about what defines efficient? You know, what are the criteria that you can judge this tool is good or bad, or efficient or not efficient, right? So in your literature review, you review whatever tools are there, and then the framework that helps you decide, you know, evaluate what defines efficiency. You know, so you also have to create a framework to help you decide on efficiency of a tool. So when you review literature review, there are three main parts. Review. Can someone read this, please? The highlighted 3 bullet points.
Review relevant literature and provide context for your research. Discuss key theories and concepts related to the topic. Summarize the theoretical framework for answering your questions.
Yeah. So discuss the literature, whatever written on happiness and but also discuss the main theories, you know, theory by this guy, these are the three main important theories. But at the end, the outcome of the literature review should always be, you know, create a theoretical framework or the conceptual framework. From theoretical framework, you develop the conceptual framework that will help you answer your research question. You know? So whatever topic you pick, whatever your topic you pick, there will be always, you know, some concept or some framework that will be needed to answer your research question. So that is the main purpose of literature review. In terms of how does it look like, or, you know, how to do it, that's something you'll have to explore on your own. Okay. Is there any questions? So there is a PowerPoint presentation for introduction chapter on literature review chapter, you know, how to pick a topic, all those bullet points. I will share it with our dissertation team, and they will send the PowerPoint for you guys to read. All right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I don't want to go through the PowerPoint and explain the same thing. So just wants to make this more of a discussion. So remember, all those chapters, they are all interconnected. In introduction, you explain the topic and you explain the research objective or questions. Literature review, you explain what work has been done, and then, you know, what is the concept you have created or finalized to answer your research question, you know. And then in the methodology, you are saying, how do I collect my data to answer the research question, you know? How do I collect? How do I analyze my data? In chapter 4, again, data presentation and analysis. You're presenting the data for your question. You know, if you have 3 questions, you present the data, you analyze the data. That's chapter 4. Chapter 5, you're concluding. You make conclusion for the 3 questions or 4 questions you've asked, right? So all the chapters, thesis, it's always interconnected with the questions that you ask or the objectives. Yeah. So get your objectives right. You know, make the objectives. Is it achievable objectives? Is it clear enough? Is it? Is there no confusion? So your objective, or I won't call it objective. Let's call it your research question. The question that you want to answer, right? So you have a topic, and who knows, you might have 3 questions, you know, 3 questions that you want to answer, you know. So those are the 3, the asking the right question is very important, because based on those questions that you ask, your literature review is connected to the questions that you ask. You're trying to answer create a theoretical framework, conceptual framework for answering the question. Your methodology is about answering those research questions. You know, what kind of data should I collect? How do I analyze my data for each of the research questions? Your data presentation is also presenting the data. The last chapter is also finding conclusion for your research question. So the next class, the next workshop would be by our colleague. He would be talking about the methodology, both qualitative and quantitative, on how to collect and analyze the data. Oh, sorry. The methodology for collecting and analyzing the data, both qualitative and quantitative.
When is it?
I don't know whether you have been communicated. It should have been communicated to you by the dissertation team. All right. Any questions, folks? Okay. No questions then. I'll leave it to you. So have fun. Try refining the title, and also important, the research question that you're asking. Refine it, because the research question or the objective is what will sometimes when you have unclear objective, very generic question, then when you collect the data, it's hard for you to find the data for a very general question, you know. So make the question as specific as possible. Yeah. Don't complicate your life with too many questions as well. All right, good. Have a question?
Yeah, my question is, when will be our workshop 2 session? Is it
Workshop
clear?
2 session, I have no information. Let me check the calendar. This should have been communicated to you. So far you don't have any information about workshop number 2, right?
Yes, we don't have
Okay,
information about
I will ask this station team to send you the schedule the workshop as soon as possible.
And Professor,
Thank you,
please, if you
Professor.
can ask them if it could be a little bit later, because, for example, we have also the internship, the mandatory one. So if it's, for example, after 4 or something, would be optimal, because also
All right.
sometimes stuff in the middle of the day. Thank you very much for your time.
Sure. All right. Then have a good evening, people. Oh, is our dissertation team here? Probably.
Yes, Professor, I'm here.
Or you can answer the question. When
Yeah.
is the next workshop?
Actually, it will be scheduled soon, and the email will be delivered to the student as soon as possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Vahab, can you please, if it's possible to make it maybe,
Can you please just make it one by one, please?
Sorry. I wanted to ask if we are not able to get a hold.
I cannot hear
I've
you.
already sent 3 mails and I haven't got any response. Can you hear me?
Yes, now yes, we
Hello?
can hear
Can
you.
you?
Yeah.
Yes. I was asking if we are not able to get in contact with our supervisor, what should we do?
Actually, whenever you are going to reach out to your supervisor, please you should send an email and just keep waiting for 3 or 4 days. After that, you can just send us the proof that, for example, a screenshot of the email or the, or the team message that you have sent him or her, and then we will chase it up. And for sure, please do not consider the weekends and vacations or holidays that they are not accessible.
Yeah, it's been actually 2 weeks since I sent mails. I actually sent 3 mails in a gap of like 4-5 days, but
Yeah.
I didn't get any response. So
Please
if I need to
just
send,
send dissertation team an email and attach the whatever you have as a proof, the screenshot of the email or so on, so that we can follow up the case.
can you tell me what is the email of the dissertation team so that I can send the email?
Just let me write it for you in
Yeah, Farouk, do you have a question?
in the chat box.
Yeah, I just wanted to say if it's possible if we can have the meetings a little bit later, like in the after 3 or 4, because I'm doing my mandatory internship. I work 40 hours from Monday to Friday, and today I had to take like 2 hours off, and I need to work them extra, so I could attend this meeting. So it would be perfect if we can do something like that to consider people that are doing the mandatory internship parallel to the thesis.
Okay. Wahab will take that into consideration in terms of scheduling, whether that's possible.
Sorry, could you please just elaborate more on your case?
Wahab, I sent you already an email. I told you that I'm doing the mandatory internship
Yeah,
parallel to the thesis, and I work 40 hours a week,
yeah,
Monday to Friday.
yeah.
So, for example, today it was overlapping, and I'm just starting my first week in the internship. So
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of tough to be excused for 2 hours in my training phase in the internship. So if we could do the next session, for example, at 4:30 or 5, it would be perfect. So I can also attend and take notes and be able to fully be there. I was like multitasking the work and being here in the meeting now.
Mm-hmm. You know, there are so many participants that play a role whenever we are going to have dissertation workshops being, provided to the students. So I try my best in order to consider your case, but I cannot promise that it will happen. Besides, the recordings will be available for you whenever you can have time, you can review them. And in the meantime, you can just keep close contact with your supervisor whenever you have any questions and for any further information. But that's not gonna be workable. Sorry to say that we can just adjust the time for for minor considerations of the students. But I will try the best whenever we are going to schedule it. I will consider that.
Okay, thank you. Sabira and Abhinesh, by the way, I have already sent you email, the PowerPoint for introduction and literature review. Have a look and then it'll provide you further information as well. Yeah, Sabira, Abhinesh,
So,
do you have a question?
yeah, is it possible to share the recording of this session? Because maybe we would like to go
Yes, the
through it.
recording will be shared with you by the registry team or me. Yes, we just need 1 or 2 days. We have to allocate it in the server, and then we will release it out, and you will have it. You will have the link to review it, and I cannot say the exact date, but it will be happen very soon.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome. And
Denisa?
anyone else?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hello.
thanks for your help and everything. Please, I want to know how soon are we going to have the dissertation on our canvas, because I haven't got mine yet, and I'm finishing my program in June.
Yeah.
So I haven't got it yet on canvas yet. So I don't know how soon I'm going to get it there, because my
Actually,
professor is asking for my
mhm.
start and finish dates already.
Anything that goes to the canvas is related to the registry team, not the dissertation team, and they need to evaluate your credits and so on. So there may be some considerations, but as far as I know, I guess it will be done latest by the next week, midweek. And but for these concerns or the similar concerns of not having access to the canvas or whatever happens to your canvas, and or maybe you may miss some modules or so on, please keep contact with
Registry.
registry team. And
Okay.
Ajita and Daria also can help, and so yes, please stay in touch with them.
Okay, thank you.
Take ages to answer, and Daria is on annual leave till the 29th, and we're losing time, so it's really hard to communicate with anyone in the university per email.